What a nail biter that was. And Peterson pitched pretty good. It is Friday, May 22nd, 2026. We are on the road in Miami, Florida, about to play a weekend series versus the Great Marlins in Lone Depot Park. I don't know about that name. I am the Mets head, talking all things New York Mets, with a preview of Game 51 versus the Marlins. If you enjoy my content, I ask that you please like and subscribe to the Mets head on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. I went to see the Florida Marlins with the Traveling Dingleberries back in 2007 when we attempted to go to every baseball park. Back then it was called Dolphin Stadium, previously Dolphins Stadium, previously Pro Player Stadium, before that Pro Player Park, and before that Joe Robbie Stadium, home of the Miami Dolphins, my brother Matt's favorite football team. The stadium was all in Dolphins colors. It was really like the Marlins were borrowing their stadium. Later on, it would come to be known as Landshark Stadium, then Sun Life Stadium, and it's now called the Hard Rock Stadium. But the Marlins left before they renamed it the Hard Rock Stadium. Now they play in Lone Depot Park. I miss their home run sculpture. I was not surprised when Peterson started the game by walking the bases loaded. I thought we were really in for it when Benj dropped that foul ball. But Peterson got out of it. Then at the bottom of the second, Bichette made an error to get the leadoff runner on. What are you playing defense like the Nationals now? He then gave up a single, struck out James Wood, and then caught a guy stealing. Top of the third, we got on board. Melendez was hit by a pitch. I'm very happy that he was moved down in the lineup. Now him batting eighth is more appropriate. And you can pinch hit all you want for him. And nobody should really complain. Torrens then got a dribbler down the third base line for a base hit. Benj got a single to left to load the bases for Bo Bichette, who has been hitting much better lately. Bo singled and knocked in two to give us a 2-0 lead. Then in the fifth, Peterson gave up a leadoff single to Ruiz, and then a double to Wood to deep center field, which Ewing did misplay a bit. And not that I expected him to play today, but if Tyrone Taylor was in center field, I think he most likely would have caught it. Then Peterson struck out Meade, and Chaparro grounded out to third to score a run to make it 2-1. And up came Abrams, and I was worried that they wouldn't get Peterson out of the game fast enough. And he had a line shot down the first base line, caught by Swaggy V. What a play to save a run and to end the inning. He's definitely played much better at first base than he ever has before. And he seems much more confident. That would be Peterson's last inning. He pitched 5 innings and gave up only 1 run on 4 hits and 3 walks with 3 strikeouts, lowering his ERA to 5.03 thanks to some good defense when it counted, and Peterson able to get out of jams when he got himself into quite a few jams also. Then Brazoban was brought in. This is when Brazoban should be used. Retired the Nats in order in the 6th. Then Raley came in for the 7th. Retired them in order. Then at the bottom of the 8th, Luke Weaver was brought in. Got the first 2 outs, pitched around Abrams, which was probably a good idea, even though he is fast if he's on first base. Instead of giving him a chance to hit a home run, let the inexperienced batters get out, which Dylan Cruz did to end the inning. And then in the 9th, Williams gave a double to Lyle to lead off the inning and retired the next 3 in order for the win and his 7th save of the season. Brazoban lowered his ERA to 1.78. Raley lowered his ERA to 1.40. Weaver lowered his ERA to 3.38. And Williams lowered his ERA to 4.32. We only managed 6 hits and 2 walks. But Brett Beatty did go 2 for 4, raising his average to 240. Bichette got the big hit. He was 1 for 4, 2 RBIs, up to 225 now. Benj, Semien, and Terens all had 1 hit each. And AJ Ewing and Soto had a walk each. And after that win, we are no longer in last place in the NL East. We are now half a game in front of Miami for 4th place. Only 2.5 games behind the Nats and 3 games behind the Phillies, but still 12.5 games behind the Braves, who now have sole possession of best record in the major leagues. And we now have the 9th worst record in the major leagues, which is the 22nd best record in the major leagues. 1 game out of breaking in the top 20. The Marlins are now 22 and 29, 7 games under 500. Last place in the NL East, just half a game behind us, and 13 games out of first place. On the mound for the Marlins is 23-year-old right-hand pitching Yuri Perez. Originally from the Dominican Republic, he is 6'8", 220 pounds. He originally signed with Miami as an international free agent in 2019. He pitched for the big club first in 2023, and then had to have Tommy John surgery, which also the next Marlins pitcher in Game 2 also had. He's pitched 3 years in the bigs, started 39 games. He is 12 and 12 with a 3.71 ERA, 213 strikeouts in 186 innings. Last year, he pitched in 20 games. He was 7 and 6 with a 4.25 ERA, 105 strikeouts in 95 innings, with 32 walks. Ooh. This year, he's pitched in 10 games. He is 2 and 6 with a 5.33 ERA, 58 strikeouts in 52 innings with 28 walks. My ideal lineup for the Metsies would have Benj leading off, Bichette batting second. He is 3 for 5 with a double against Perez. Then Soto, 1 for 4 with a homer. Vientos, 1 for 1 with a homer. Then I have Beatty 5th, Semien 6th, Ewing 7th, Torrens 8th, and Melendez 9th. I was happy to see that Melendez was moved down in the lineup last night. I think he might be more suited for 9th than 8th. So I take it back. Melendez should bat 8th in order to try to avoid the left-hander facing Soto. I bet Melendez 8th and Torrens 9th. Generally, I like to switch lefty-righty, but if you have Melendez 9th, then Benz is first. You have 2 lefties in a row. And that will definitely entice the other teams to bring in a lefty to face the Damadai hitter, the 1 hitter, and then Soto. But if you have Melendez 8th, they might second-guess that decision. And also, you would have 2 right-hand hitters in there before they got to Soto. And you would also pinch hit for Melendez, so you would have to make them face 3 righties. So suck them in and take advantage. Originally, Freddie Peralta was supposed to start the game, but now they switched it to Tobias Myers. I'm very happy to see that Myers is going to be starting a game. I hope this will become a trend in the future, that they will rely on him to start games. I do not have confidence in him in this game, however. Against the current roster of Marlins, which he's only faced 5, Casey, Edwards, Lopez, Morel, and Stowers. They are 3 for 10 against him. That's 300. With 2 home runs and 2 walks and an over 1,300 OPS. That is not a good sign of things for Myers tonight. And I so want him to do well because I want him to be in the rotation. And also, I heard they're calling up Jonah Tong. I'm not sure why they're bringing up Jonah Tong, because Jonah Tong's been pitching terribly in the minor leagues so far this year. He is 1-3 with a 5.68 ERA. In the minor leagues, he's pitched 33 innings, given up 28 hits and 24 walks. He does have 55 strikeouts, which is impressive. But those numbers are terrible. I don't know why they would think to bring him up. I heard he may relieve Myers and be the bulk pitcher. I don't know. But Jonah Tong has been pitching well, so I wouldn't expect him to come up with any confidence and pitch well in the majors. That being said, Myers is a 27-year-old right-hand pitcher. He is 6'1", 223 pounds. Originally drafted by the Orioles in the 6th round in 2016. Mickey Moniak was the first selection by the Phillies that year. We chose pitcher Justin Dunn, 19th overall. And then in the 2nd round, we selected the polar bear, Pete Alonso, 64th overall. And then Bo Bichette was order 66 by Toronto. Myers has been traded for 2 first-round picks over his career. Originally in 2017, he was traded for Tim Beckham. He was also traded for Junior Caminero once in 2021. Not a first-rounder, but an impressive player to be traded for. And then he was traded with Peralta to the Mets for Brandon Sproat and Jet Williams, who was also a first-round pick. That doesn't happen very often. This is Maya's third year in the majors. In his first 2 years, he's pitched in 49 games and started 31. He is 10-8 with a 3.15 ERA, 165 strikeouts, and 188 innings. His career as a starting pitcher is a 3.34 ERA, which is pretty good. But as a reliever, a 2.54 ERA, which is even better. But as his role for this team, he is more of a middle reliever. And I think his abilities as a starting pitcher would be much more beneficial for this team at this time, especially with trouble with starting pitching, that they should start him rather than sporadically pitching him every once in a while in long relief. They already got they already got Peterson and Mania doing long relief also. Mick Myers the starter. Last year, he pitched in 22 games and started 6 of them. He was 1-2 with a 3.55 ERA, 38 strikeouts, and 50 innings. This year, he's appeared in 16 games and started 1. He's 1-0 with a 3.55 ERA, 23 strikeouts, and 29 innings. If he could start and get a 3.5 ERA, the man should be in the starting rotation regularly. Stop looking for these other guys to try to fill in as starting pitchers. Get this guy in. Let's take another one. Maybe we can get in third place before the series is over. Let's go, Mets go. Until next time, I'm One God.